At this stage, I wish to advise the House that the Cairn has agreed to a request by Deputy Cathal Crowe to make a personal explanation. I now call on Deputy Crowe to make his explanation.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach. Cathaoirleach and colleagues, I wish to clarify a speech that I made yesterday in the Dáil, correct the Dáil record, and also apologise profusely to anyone that may have been offended by my comments. The speech I made was during the debate that this House had on Gaza, and I was speaking without a scripted speech and instead using a series of bullet points. I began by stating that the eye for an eye approach the Israeli eye for an eye approach has been reprehensible, and that the bombing of hospitals, schools and tents, alongside the killing of babies, including many newborn babies in hospitals, amounts to genocide and ethnic cleansing. I then wanted to make the point that brutal, bad and all, as the British Armed Forces have been on this island for a very long time, they never resorted to sending over the Royal Air Force, tanks and missiles to pummel Irish cities. I wanted to convey the magnitude and the visceral hatred which has been behind the Israeli Defence Forces' actions in Gaza, and I also wanted to convey the huge disproportionality that the Israeli state has adopted following their reprehensible Hamas attacks of October 7, 2023. Regrettably, speaking largely off the cuff, I clumsily and wrongly stated, and I quote, "They never retaliated by bombing or shooting the civilian population of Ireland," unquote. Let me be very clear, it was not my intention to say this, and I didn't realise how woeful all of that sounded until late last night when I received the transcript of what I had actually said. It was a genuine slip-up on my part, but it was wrong, and I wish to today unequivocally and profusely apologise. I studied history in college and taught history in the classroom. I am a Republican, and many of you will remember the boycott that I led in early 2020 to oppose a planned state commemoration of the Royal Irish Constabulary. I know that the British Armed Forces have been involved in many heinous attacks on Irish people historically. The Bloody Sunday in Croke Park 1920, the massacre of 26 civilians at Derry's Bogside in 1972, and the countless other actions in recent history and further back in history for which they are responsible for. My own family also suffered at the hands in the past of the British military. I make this apology entirely of my own volition, and it is genuine. My apology is to the victims of British state terror and atrocities. My apology is also to those of you who care about Irish history and the accuracy with which it should be conveyed. I want to see a united Ireland, and I yearn for a day that there are no more British military personnel on this island. I want to see continued peace in our nation in accordance with the Good Friday Agreement. The next time that I speak on any of these matters, I will use a better prepared speaking note that accurately conveys what I wish to say, rather than speaking off the cuff and causing unintentional hurt and offence. To members of this House, I ask that you please accept the bona fides of what I am saying here. I made a mistake, I was wrong, and I apologise. And those of you who know me a long time will know my interest in history, republicanism and the campaigns for justice for all who have suffered. The focus of yesterday's debate was on Gaza, and we need to get back to that. Whilst an awful lot has been done by the Irish Government, I feel that the international community collectively could be doing more. And I will continue my personal efforts here in the Dáil to speak up and stand up for the people who are suffering unimaginably in Gaza. Thank you, Las Cairn.
Thank you very much, Dr. Crowe.